Game on. Willkommen aus another episode of Zwei Ales und Hockey Tales mit Wally. Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I'm so excited to have on a 9 and 6-year-old, a 39-year-old from London, Ontario, Canada. His hockey journey has taken him to Canada and Germany. Came up as a puppy with the Huron Perth Lakers before mucking it up with the Belleville Bulls for 3 seasons. Then headed to the Sioux Greyhounds and became the captain. Then spent 3 seasons with some dandies getting educated and winning the national championship in St. Mary's University. Then he jumped into pro hockey and headed straight for Landshut, Germany, where he spent the next 6 seasons and won her all, became the captain as a Canadian, unusual, and played with some of the best dudes and teammates in the game, rounded out his career playing for the Love with the Stony Creek Generals. But his legacy is set in Landshut, Deutschland, where he is set to return and muck it up with yours truly, February 7th, 2026. Welcome on, Cody Thornton.
Thanks, Wally. What an
Hey,
introduction.
people have said what's the word? Relentless before. I feel like I've been relentless getting you on, you know? I post things.
Yeah, that's how you got me this time. It was a good buddy, Andrew Hotham, who said, "Hey,
Yeah,
what is Wally trying to hunt you down for?"
I know. I had to be
But it is,
relentless.
and I get it because it is something cool. To be headed back there is a lot of fun. But yeah, the hockey world is small, and
It really
Wally,
is.
hey, I'm sorry, life is busy.
I
Life is
get I
busy.
get that too. I totally get that too. And yeah, we're at the age where life is busy, and it's funny to think of when you're playing in Landshut, Germany back then. You thought you were busy. You had to practice, maybe lunch with the boys. We weren't busy.
No, there was no responsibility.
Right. So it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it
Um,
was it was yeah, it was a different world. The transition, yeah, was eye-opening. Well, not eye-opening because you knew it was coming, but it was just different. Um,
it is eye-opening. It is different. But you do know it's coming. But then it's weird, right? The end of your career when you know it's coming, you start appreciating what you're doing each day more.
yeah, I found with that, I mean, for me anyways, it was the concussions that sort of played into it. So I knew the end was near.
Mm,
Um, and then your body just slows down, right? I started getting hurt more.
yeah.
Um, And then, yeah, so you knew the transition was coming. And I got some really good advice at that time, too. And that was just to use hockey until hockey uses you, right?
Mm.
So at that point, it had started to use me just with my health. And I knew the end was there.
Well, I get into how we know each other to start.
Yeah.
Um, well, I did post a few pictures and we are on the the poster. Like I think it's so neat. I know you were there 6 years, became the captain, won a championship. Um, I don't know where I fit in on this because I played 1 year in Landshut, but the guys there welcomed me in. I loved those teammates. They brought the love of hockey back. And then I did switch to Bietigheim after a year in Landshut to play with Hammer and Geipe. And they're two of the best people I know, my best German buddies. And but it was the Landshut people and players that brought my love of hockey back after I would say a grind in the East Coast for a year.
So I think you sort of hit the nail on the head. Um, right? Is that it's just a connection to Lansu. And I think that that's a special one because I think with you playing there for the year or the time you did, you met the guys that I
That,
played with the following year, right? And then the
and
guys from Bietigheim that ended up coming back to Lansu. So I met, I had both those sets of guys as well. And then the city itself is just a special little place, man. They really rally around hockey, and then it's the community. You really feel the community over there as compared to here, I find. And it's just a really special place. So I can't wait to get back for the game. I think it's they do a wonderful job there, like Tom you had on earlier, and the guys that help out and organize that. Like they put on a real good show, and it's all for a really good cause for the city. So it's no, yeah, it's a special place.
I totally agree. It's a special place, and you realize what kind of hockey town you're in when I move there, and I'm late to the party. It's like end of September. I move in with Bernd Trunchka, the GM, who brought me over, and I'm living with him. And I know I got to get from one side of town to the other. And I don't know, there was a road beside the big church downtown. I didn't see that it was only for taxis or buses, whatever. And I'm driving down that road like I owned it, and a police officer pulls me over and takes my license and it's Canadian. He's like, "Are you going to play hockey tonight?" I'm like, "I am." He's like, "Okay, you're not allowed to drive on this road. Good luck tonight."
Yeah, they've got a couple of those little one ways that are just supposed to be for the police or the ambulances, right? But yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
don't think you're supposed to drive right beside that big church downtown if you're a normal
no,
car.
no, you're not. You're not.
I was new.
No, and that's part of the experience too. As I was talking to my wife recently about it, and your first day there, you're dropped off, and then you go up and now you've got to rent or you've got your car. And it's
And
like,
you're
well,
just living there.
yeah, you're like, well, okay, so I got to figure out the rules here, but you got to make your way to the your apartment.
And you're driving standard.
And you're driving. So I was okay with that, but I know you
Yeah,
always hear
I
stories
was
of
okay with that
somebody.
too. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I got you.
Um,
There's a
but
lot that aren't.
yeah, but even, it's just you're fully entrenched in that German language, right? So even how do what's the gas called? How do you get groceries? Um, setting up a phone. The internet took a month my first year, to get that. So then you're there with like no connection to home. It felt really weird, but you just dialed into hockey.
Oh,
Um,
and you think about people going a month without internet nowadays compared to like when I went over there was before you yet, and like I had a blue Nokia phone, and
yeah,
if I wanted to talk to people at home, I'd have to be at my computer and Skype them, I think it was at the time.
yeah,
But it didn't happen often. My buddies at home aren't on Skype, they're living life. And then you don't get to talk to people as much. But now these smartphones, they change everything.
yeah. And I think even further, like I played with some guys, Billy True, who's been over there for a long, long time. And they were using like I don't know how many digits they had, the calling cards, and they'd have to dial in. It was like 20 digits or something long. And then just to even, call home.
Yeah.
Let alone video calls just on demand. So it's crazy now. And then, thinking the translation apps and things like that help with the language where they've just
Oh, these guys have it made now when they go over there. They
yeah,
got internet, smartphones, and yeah, you're right. They can, like when I went over there,
yeah,
this may make me sound like a hillbilly, but I didn't know what basil and cilantro was.
yeah,
And then I'm like, man, I really like eating this shit at a restaurant. And I figured out what it was, and now I know, but until you know, you don't know. But you could have like they would have the Google Translate and just tell you what you're looking at a grocery store. I remember the first night I go out in Landshut and I'm with Brandon Dietrich and his parents, and they take us to a restaurant. The menu's only in German.
hmm
And I'm like, so what is this? What is that? And they're like, well, Hähnchen, that's chicken, And it's like,
yeah,
Schwein, that's pig. And I'm like,
yeah.
okay. But you don't know. Like, and it's
No.
it's a weird thing to jump into in your 20s, flying over the world and not knowing what you're getting into.
Yeah, I think it'd be tough to be a picky eater. Because
Well,
there
I was
are
not a picky eater in Germany. I think that's why they asked me to kindly leave.
well, depending on where you went, right? Some were more English friendly, but the traditional, the Augustiner, where you can get the real Schweinebraten and the real Bavarian food, right?
And like the
Um,
bloodwurst, ugh.
yeah. But on those menus, yeah, a lot of the time you're just guessing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
You
you
were
just hope
guessing
for the
for at
best.
least a couple years, right?
Yeah.
So, can du sprechen ein bisschen Deutsch?
Yeah, icon.
Oh,
Yeah,
ich auch. Aber ich vergessen viel, because ich
yeah,
spiele in Deutschland 13 Jahr vorbei, I think is what it's called. No, what's ago?
for buy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Nailed it.
Um, no, I could buy, and I think that's part of the reason why at the end, like I think people were okay with me being the captain there,
Because you could
because
do it.
I could do that, or and I would talk like a kindergarten, right? Like my vocab and
But you were trying.
grammatically, but I tried, and I was there for 6 years, and tried it. And so people got to know you, and it wasn't just, oh, there's here's the Canadian or the Auslander.
Yeah.
Um, it's like this is the local now, and this
Right.
is you guys, and we're always smiling, and it just becomes like a little family.
I have seen it, and I do regret not learning German right away when I first went over there. I went over there thinking, okay, this is a season. I'm like started my career, don't know where I'm going, what I'm going to do. But I'm in Germany for a year. So I'm not going to put in that much effort into learning it. Next thing I know, I've been there for 6 years. It wasn't until my fourth year out on the town with a Landshut fella, Dominic Hammer, who was like, we're in Stuttgart. And he's like, Waldo, what are you doing? You've been here 4 years and you're still not speaking German. Like, come on. And then I'd had a couple that night, so I was like, well, I'll give her a shot. And then I realized I could do it, and the confidence started. And then all of a sudden, I was just doing it all the time. But the confidence is a real thing, whether it's playing hockey or speaking German.
Yeah, and I think so I had some of those people, the same sort of experience, Wally, as you. I had Peter Abstreiter and
Oh,
Nikki, so I started hanging out with them, and Nikki would, she'll say she can't, but she can speak a little bit of English.
they'll do that. Yeah, they can say
But
that to you.
she would hold me accountable,
Hmm.
right? And she would say, Cody, you can too. And so we would go back and we'd get by like that, and it was great. But then you started just almost like, you learn a word and then you use it that week. And then you pick another word and you use it that week. And then your vocab just starts to sort of grow. Or the way I thought of it was, if I'm going to learn, I'm just going to learn to use it when I need to. So, what do I have to say when I go to a bakery? What do I have to say when I go to a grocery store? Like, I've got a really funny story. I'll tell you, Wally. There was a guy on our team, Kevin Kapstad.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember him, little fast D man. Ended up going to like the Swedish Elite League.
yeah, unbelievable guy, unbelievable skater.
Yes, he was. I hated dump the puck in on him. When I
Yeah,
wouldn't have done it, but my line mates did.
no,
Yeah, he
he
just
had
skate
been
by me. Anyways,
Yeah,
go ahead.
he had lived in an apartment right downtown, and there was a little grocery store just on the way home from the rink for him. And this was like Christmas now, so we had been there a while. And he comes into the dressing room one day and goes, "Oh, you won't believe this." He said, "I've been paying for my groceries, and I they were saying Guten Tag, just have a good day. Like I just
Yeah.
paid and have a good day." But he said, I thought they were asking me for a receipt. So I would always say, no, thank you. So
Oh,
then they're saying, hey, have a good day.
and he's saying no,
And
thank
he's
you.
saying, no, thank you, and walking out. And he said, no, now it makes sense why they were always laughing at me. So he said he was never going back there. But that's just, you learn the language when you need it at those different situations, and then you just expand on it.
Well, I think it's really neat to get into hockey stuff is that you were named the captain of Landshut's pro team because um, Kamil Tupel, ice hockey god, was the captain there forever.
Yeah.
And his nickname is Ice Hockey God, so you know what you're dealing with there. But that you're a Canadian and was named the captain, I'm guessing not too long after him. That's a hell of an honor for a Canadian. I don't think that shit's normal,
No, it was. I mean, it still is. And
right?
yeah, learning from Toops was the best, right? Toops was I. I don't even know how to describe him. He was unbelievable right up until the day he stopped playing. Or I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know. I think he still plays.
I hear he does.
Um, but the stories of him taking the quads out onto the ice after games and celebrating with the fans because it's just different there, where the fans stay after and you celebrate and you salute them and you this the chants. You don't see that here in North America, really. I guess the
Not
closest,
it's not even similar. Like the people
no,
that it's hard, right, for guys like us that come back and then you talk about an OHL game or even an NHL game and they're like, "Oh, it was crazy." I'm like, "You don't even know what crazy is." Like the
yeah.
fans over there are so passionate and like the fan section that stands the whole game and beats the drums and half of them are topless. Like it's nothing like playing hockey over here.
No, and I think that's why the schedule was the way it was, Wally, where there was never two games one weekend at home, right? It was always a home and away
Because they're bringing their A game every time,
every game. And I
right?
think that's why they're allowed to be upset when the product on the ice isn't up to snuff because
Well,
they're giving it too, you
and
know?
that is true, is if you're gonna bring it as a fan and bring that energy to the arena and the fellas don't get in line and do the same thing, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that I think the whole experience of just the fans and the players there, you just connect a little bit more, right? Because you go back onto the ice after the game, and you're doing that sort of a thing. And then we also did stuff where we were in the schools too, where we were teaching the kids because it's not soccer's number one there or football's number one. So just to teach kids about the game and introduce it to them.
The one thing I did, I'm cutting you off right now. It's
Oh,
my
you're
show. I can
okay.
say whatever I want. When you talked about getting to know the language and then it was okay for you to be the captain, but also buying into Landshut
Yeah.
and going to schools, and I'm guessing you helped out with minor hockey. I know I did when I could a few times in Beatingheim. I don't remember doing it in Landshut, but I might have. But the guys that go over there as imports, Canadians or wherever, that truly buy into the town and what's going on and learn the language, man, the impact they can have on kids and everything is like I never thought of it as a kid from Elmira that's going over to play in Germany. I just thought I was, going over to play in this league in Germany. I never thought of the town and the people and who you can affect, and that if you go out to minor hockey and you go help those kids, like they may remember that forever. And like I think I'm only getting invited back to Landshut because my buddies, but then also a fella I inspired as a kid, Matthias Holler, had never played hockey. Now he's coaching the under nines or sevens in Landshut, and he said me putting it between my legs made me his first role model. And I was like, dude, I was just playing hockey. Um, but you don't realize the impact you can have. And then you see Cody Lample and Straubing, who has bought into Straubing and bought into helping every kid get better, be a better hockey player. And then you see an American become an assistant coach of Team Germany who came up as a hockey player and bought into that city and did what it took and learned German and like embraced the town. It's I if I could give anybody advice going overseas to play hockey is buy into the town you're in. It's not about you playing pro hockey. If you buy into the town and the people and help out and be a good person, it's amazing the things that could happen, right?
Yeah, and I would say I'm naturally a loyal person. Um,
I got
but
you.
when I went over there, I had, and every year is a new contract. I never had a
Mm,
2-year contract, right? So it was a yearly thing.
same thing.
So you're constantly, hey, is there more money available somewhere else just to see, right? And typically there was, whether it be, 5,000 or 10,000 euros more. The advice I was always given was at the end of the day, your life now we're talking, what is $10,000 or 10,000 euros, right? If you're comfortable, you like where you are, is it worth going to Bremerhaven for more money?
Oh yeah.
So that's one of those questions. And I loved Landshut. I loved the city, and it became a home away from home where, I want to bring up like Ty Morris and Geipe and all the young kids, because what they've got there is not only just a professional team, right? But it's a whole junior system. So you're not talking about just one age of kids. You're talking, right, every year there's a new crop of the young juniors that come up. So it's hard to mention names, but you're able to connect with so many different people within it. And then I think if you're a Canadian or a North American that's over there and you're considering staying there, well, then it's sort of got to be in the hockey community because they pay, right? The junior coaches or the junior teams, like that's a job there
Yeah.
for them.
It's totally
Uh,
different. I do it for free.
yeah, and it's a full time, it's a 12-month thing, year round thing, right? And there you can do that. But what it's really hard to do is, like Ty Morris had done, is he went then he put himself through school, right? In German. Like he went and took school for carpentry, I believe it was, and has that, but is now working at Warrior, right? Back into hockey. But like that to me is like that blows my mind that he
A
was able
fella
to
from
do that.
Alberta that moves over to play hockey and is then putting him through s- German school.
Yeah.
And yeah, like he's another guy that embraced the German culture. And like you get over there, it is a nice place to be. I mean, I didn't appreciate it while I was doing it all, maybe too focused on hockey or I was too young to realize what I'm looking at. But man, you get back here and you've been in the same place for a decade now, and I'm like, I would have never got to go over there if I couldn't play hockey.
Yeah, and once you're over there, right? That's the best part. Once you're over there, you can move about. And so being in the south of Germany, we were very close to the Alps, right? So Garmisch was a great place for us to go. Playing there was really cool, right? Right in the mountains.
Oh, it
Um,
really was. I remember the first time we went there, it was dark. And I was like, okay, I played in some old, another shitty bar, whatever, cool.
yeah.
It was interesting that they started throwing glasses on the ice when we were beating them 7-0. But the next time we went there, it was the afternoon. And you
Mhm.
could see the mountains, you could see where you were, and I
Yeah.
was like, where the hell am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So you get, and then you can go an hour and a half and you're in Salzburg, Austria.
Hmm.
So now, you're there, or it's just so easy to get around.
So
Italy,
when I go back
super close.
to Landshut to play in this hockey game,
Yeah.
I plan on doing a little tour before I come back. Where should I go from Landshut? Because Garmisch is a thing, Salzburg is a thing, and I'm all over the place on I think I don't want to race around trying to go see everything. I want to go set up shop for a day or two somewhere?
Well, I'll tell you what my wife and I did last time and what we're planning maybe to do this time. Last time we flew in and we headed straight to Lake Como, Italy.
Hmm. I actually went there once.
Did
Yeah,
you? That
yeah,
drive from the Munich airport, you go through, or we did 5 different countries,
right.
right, to get
That's
there.
when you drive through like Switzerland, Austria.
Yeah. Liechtenstein. Yeah.
Mm.
So that was cool. This one we're going to do, I think, Prague, but we were also considering Salzburg. I've been there maybe a couple too many times.
I have not been to Salzburg,
Really nice. Let me think on
but
that.
another
I'll
city.
get back to you on
That's
that.
just another city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prague
Okay.
is Prague is super cheap, uh, and it's
I've been to Prague. Oh yeah.
yeah,
No, I've
okay,
been to Prague and it's cheap and it's cool and there's some interesting museums if you want to check them out. Um, that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
Um, Anywho, um, okay, I haven't looked at my notes yet. We were just talking, but how I get into how we know each other is when I posted the picture of Small Hockey World. When I post a picture of us on the poster of this game in Germany, and I kept being relentless like I can be. Andrew Hotham is the guy that writes to you. Of all the people, when I post that I think is going to write to you, I think it's going to be a guy from Landshut. I think it's going to be a guy, that I know in Landshut. And it's Andrew Hotham, who is my travel partner going to Cardiff, Wales. So we have flown over to Cardiff twice together now and been roommates the whole trip. And now you two are buddies, and now we're going to Germany? What a world.
Yeah. So you know him as what do you call him? What's his nickname?
Marv.
Okay, yeah. So Marv.
Yeah.
Um, I know Marv from Junior, and
From
it.
Home Alone, he was the bad guy.
Oh yeah, if you see this guy, like in university, his hair was unbelievable. It
Yeah.
was Marv. But I remember him from junior. My last year in the Sioux, we're the same age, so his last year was in Saginaw, and we played in the playoffs. And I hated playing against him
Oh, yeah. People
because
do.
you'd go into the corner with him, and he's coming out with the puck every time, and it's in his feet. And he stands straight up. He looks
Can't
like he
skate
doesn't
that well.
try.
Doesn't,
No,
I know.
but every time I would, try and run him or whatever, he'd come out of the corner going, "Hey, you coming to St. Mary's next year? Hey, you coming to St. And I'm like, you
Oh
know,
my God.
yeah.
He's so funny, man.
So, so I ended up going to St. Mary's with him, and then spent 3 years at school with him, and got to know Marv, and
Oh.
got to know his brother as well, Scott.
Oh, and they've both been on the show. And Scott I never played with, but he's a dandy too. But
Yeah,
and Andrew Marv is, man, he's a funny dude when he plays hockey. He, well, like, I'm not being mean, Marv, if you're listening, but he's not that great of a skater. But I just went back to Cardiff to play a hockey game, and he caught me back checking like 3 times in that game. And then I realized that I need to exercise before I come to Germany. But when I would watch him, he was the most competitive person I've played with. Like, he would come out with the puck every time he went in the corner. He would fight the biggest guys. He'd score the biggest goals. He'd set up the biggest goals. He was just an absolute gamer. And he won like best defenseman in the UK League like 4 or 5 years in a row and then just retired.
dude, he is so good. And there's a couple. He will come out of the corner every time with the puck in his feet. He uses the worst. He stands straight up, right? He doesn't bend his knees.
Doesn't bend his
So he
knees.
doesn't look like he moves very quick. He uses an Iginla curve, right? And he just and he's got a little because he's going so slow, I think people
He's
like players just
deceptive.
fade off,
He's
right? Instead of
deceptive
hitting
how
them.
slow he is.
Yeah. But then
He's
when,
so
when
people say there's deceptively fast. He's deceptively slow. But he caught me from behind like four
yeah.
times last game. I gotta exercise, man, before February if they're gonna bring me over there to play this game.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I don't do much myself.
Oh, you look skinnier than me. But no, I thought it was just such a small world, right? Like I'm just having fun on the Instagram thing, posting, having it, just keeping myself entertained. And then when I post that, like, talk to me, Thornton, you punk. And then I think it's a Landshut guy, and then it's my my travel buddy in Cardiff. And like we lived beside each other in Cardiff. And then I find out you guys won a championship together, and so did me and Hoth.
Yeah. I guess, hey, all he does is win.
Well, he does win.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wins fights, scores goals, man. He can play. But don't tell him. I don't like saying nice things to him because he'll never say one nice thing to you to your face ever, you know?
No,
No.
no, he'll ask you for change to go buy a Pepsi.
That's
That's
exactly what
all.
he'll
That's
do.
all. Yeah.
Yeah, he loves Pepsi.
No,
Um,
yeah, he there's something, there is something to be said about a switch, right? And people
yes.
with them because he catches you off guard. You know, he is drinking the Pepsi before the games. He'll hammer down a hot dog, right? It doesn't matter. And then on the but the
When the puck drops.
he's a player, man. He's a gamer.
Oh, and then, I think of it like I know a bunch of scouts, which we may get into a couple that you played with. But when I think of scouts and I see guys play, you see the robots now, they can skate, they can shoot. They remind me of the practice players back in the day. And then there's gamers, the guys that can flip that switch. Andrew Hotham was that guy. He maybe didn't skate the right way, but man, he won the games. Every game you're going to play with him, he's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard something the other day was that we should be concerned with the passing ability of players now, whether it's receiving or taking, because the way the game is currently developed, skill wise,
They could skate
is
around
about
pylons really good.
individual play, right? It is skill one on one. So instead of the game being a little two on one game everywhere, it's become like a one on one, and that's we should be careful, or we should think about that when we're coaching, right? Is those basic, passing, skating, those skills. Um, but I think, yeah, it's different. The game today is different, man.
Well, I I honestly don't think it is that much. I mean, you may not have heard, but the Kincardine Canucks are back-to-back under 13 All-Ontario champions, and we didn't do a lot of skating around pylons shooting it on the net.
Yeah,
I did a lot of scrimmaging, a
yeah,
lot of you guys are the best players around, and you're going to play hockey against each other, but we're going to play this like it's a game. And then we do the small area games, all that stuff. But like you said, the individualism that has come out of all these skills coaches and
hmm
all these people trying to work with one athlete. I want to work with a team. And
yeah,
I want everybody to know that it takes all of you to be as good as you can to win this game. It is not about you. It is about this team. And I don't give a shit who scores the goals or gets the assists, but you all better be mucking it up.
yeah. Well, I think as it's hard. These kids are so young, right? Is the other thing is, but I think, as you get a little bit older and you get into that team, right? As long as you know what your role is, right? And I think that's important. So as long as you have a coach that's good to communicate
And
your
explain your
expectations,
role and what is expected of you.
right? That way, even if you're having a good game and you get rewarded for something, at least you know that's sort of above what I'm to expect, right? So it's like, hey, this is a bonus for me. So you can accept that. But my AAA team, I was lucky enough, Wally, my major Bantam year, we won the Alliance Championship. And
So I actually do want to point that out because I said in your intro, you're as a puppy you came up with the Huron Perth Lakers.
yeah,
So two it'd be 3 seasons ago now we won all Ontario, and my two horses I had on the podcast are now playing for the Huron Perth Lakers.
okay.
And I said before I came on to someone, I said, wouldn't it be neat that if they listen to this and they hear two guys talking that this guy was playing for the Huron Perth Lakers? Is like everybody comes from somewhere. You have to believe you can do it. And like it can be any of you if you really care and try hard and are a gamer and
Yeah, I think with the here on Perth, it was we had a really good group. that was there. Al O'Reilly, the older brother of Ryan O'Reilly, right? We had Tyler Doig, who ended up having a good OHL and
You were
AHL.
on that team.
Yeah, we Justin Peters, right, was our goalie, who was a longtime NHL guy. So we had, by Bantam, we had a really good team, and we went on a run in playoffs. But we had the most important guys were our third line, and they were our penalty killers. I remember like Jordan King was one of them. I remember these guys, but our coach, and you might know this name, Scott Pettigrew.
I don't.
Okay. Uh, was really good at just communicating. And everyone stayed, there was no internal battle within our team about ice
Because everybody
time.
knew what was happening and why.
Everybody knew. Everybody knew. And then at AAA, man, this Justin Peters, a goalie, and he only started playing goalie like a peewee. But if you scored in practice, he had a wicked shot, man. He'd shoot the puck at you.
Well,
Like
it got competitive.
yeah, and it was that, and then that helped me. Then we won the league, go to the OHL Cup. But Wally, I was 120 pounds at that age, and ended up getting drafted third round to Belleville. Fortunately, the rule at that time was either of your top or your
Your top
first
two rounds can make it,
15,
right?
now your first two 16-year-olds.
Right.
And in the second round, Belleville picked a guy from PEI that was a year older. So I was able to play as a third rounder. So then that's where I jumped off, was from here on Perth straight into to Belleville in the
So you
OHL.
never even played junior B or none of it.
No, no. And I think that for me, Wally, is I was super, super fortunate with that, because I think you have to be dedicated at that age. You have to be dialed in, I think, to really, get into that scholarship route. I think there can be a lot of right, like
Well, and it's weird, right? Because we're
uh,
talking about it like when we were coming up. Now it's all changed. Um,
maybe
now with OHL guys being able to go NCAA and NCAA
ooh,
guys being able to make money, that
yes.
changes everything. But when I got drafted to the OHL, I was the last pick of the draft, like the last. And then it was the switch with the Bantam draft. So there was going to be another 5 rounds of our age group the next year. But the first year there was 8 rounds and I was picked dead last. But they did ask me to stay and play. And I wanted to play at home. I wanted to play with my
Yeah.
buddies and I wanted to get a scholarship. And I had seen Elmira Sure Kings get scholarships, which one of them was Brandon Dietrich. And
Mhm.
this is a cool story. I'm so stoked about this. Is I bugged him for years to be on the podcast. I wore number 10 because of him. He brought me to Landshut, Germany to be his line mate. And when I got the invite to come back, he afterwards he came to my son's hockey game and I'm like, dude, you just got to commit to come on the podcast and they're going to invite you back.
Yeah.
Then he finally commits to come on the podcast. I believe it's December 1st,
Yeah.
but I don't want to get everybody too excited. But after I posted that he was coming on, they're like, "Do you have his number?" And then they invited him too. So now the guy I wore number 10 because of that was an Elmira Shirking in my hometown that I grew up idolizing and then became his line mate at Landshut, Germany, is now getting offered to come back to this game. This game may make my heart explode.
Well, I know his name just from living there.
Oh,
I
man.
like again, his name means something to the people there,
Well,
or the
and
the
they
fan.
do bring up the old guys, right? Because I
Yeah.
remember going back and they'd tell it was a guy, he ended up playing for the Sheffield Steelers, a Swedish guy. He pl Connie Stromberg. And I
Oh,
remember playing there and I'm like, why do you guys keep bringing this guy up? I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I'm here now, whatever.
yeah.
But then I saw that guy play in Sheffield. He was like 40 something years old. Man, that guy was a gamer. Like,
Uh-huh.
Landsuit knows how to pick him. That dude gave her the whole game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But man, like if Brandon can make it back and then I get to play with him one more time, what a world.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And
It would
but
be.
I think that's what this game is about. Another guy that you don't know that played, I think, 2 years there, Jackson Kuhn. He's going to try and come too.
Uh,
And he's another salt of the earth guy, and he's another, guy that just said, "Hey, I'm here. I'm in the community now."
yeah.
And sort of opened his arms, and now it's like, he's gonna go home, or he's gonna go back and feel like he's at home too.
Oh man, I honestly, it's very heart fulfilling all these years later when you're in the real world and you're grinding it out to get an opportunity like this. I mean, there was a lot of people that have played in Landsuit. Um, of doing this and having a couple Landsuit guys on. A fan sent me a whole
Yeah,
bunch of like a care package, and a whole bunch of them were stickers of Landsuit, and one of them was the original Landsuit hockey team. And I don't know, it said 75 years of Landsuit hockey, and I don't know how many years it's been now. But to think of all the guys that have played in Landsuit, man, me and you were on the poster.
yeah. Well,
Sorry, I think it's funny.
yeah. No, I don't, and it is because it's so rich in tradition there, right?
Right.
We
And
were.
who are we? You were the captain at least and won a championship. I didn't do shit.
Oh,
But
well, whatever it is, man. Whatever it is,
hey,
right? The
hey,
stick between the legs.
I knew I started this podcast for a reason. I knew I was doing this for free, for fun, all the time because it'd pay
Yeah.
off. And you
Yeah.
know what? Thank you, Tom, for bringing me back because it means the world. And I can't wait to see my brothers and every single person that's made this happen. It's really cool. But somebody told me I got to get back on track and not just shoot the shit with my buddies and go through their careers. So we were in Belleville
Yeah.
mucking it up. Then you got traded. Your ass got traded to the Sioux, and then you became the captain there. But
Yeah.
actually, my real question, sorry, now I was really sidetracked.
Yeah.
The jump from Bantam to the OHL.
Yeah.
I remember I got drafted last overall to the OHL, went to that training camp, and like Jason Spezza was there and a bunch of dudes that were way bigger than me and stronger than me. And I was like 135, 40 pounds.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way I can last a season with these people.
And so this is what I did. I got drafted, right? Third round. There was no promises going into camp. But I got a personal trainer and I went from 121 pounds to 140 over the summer. And then went to camp and really, Wally, I literally had nothing to lose, right? I was the smallest guy in camp. And I went out and one of the first scrimmages, I ran Matt Stajan. I tried to run like open ice. I tried to kill him.
You're just
Uh,
giving her.
and he just missed me. And one of the guys grabbed me and was like, settle down, and sort of set me in my place. But then, I went out and I scored a goal right after. And I think it just sort of right out of the gate put me on the radar. And
Right.
then that sort of
Well,
stuff.
would you play with that fire? It does, man. I watch games now of kids, and you're like, well, I know who wants it, and I know who doesn't.
Yeah. I just figured at my size, and then it was the OHL, right? So I got on a line and I ended up playing with one of the toughest guys in the league, the toughest guy in the Eastern Conference, Jake Gilmore. And he would go toe to toe with Cam Jansen at the time, who was in Windsor, and he was their tough guy. So I had a little bit of room, but I was told, right, and this was great from the coach, Jim Holton. I was told, focus defensively. And then whatever you do from the red line in is fine, but I've got to be able to trust you defensively to be able to put you out.
Right.
So I started, with 3 minutes a game and then a little bit
And
more.
you worked your way up.
And my goal every night was to win in Belleville when we played at home, to win the hit of the night.
Hmm.
Every night they would play over the speaker who won the hit of the night. And that would be my goal, no matter what the shift was. So I would work with guys in practice with just high dumps with my line mates. Like, give me high dumps in the corner, and
So I can go crush a guy.
I'm gonna go full speed from the red line, and I'm gonna put this guy through the wall. I used to write on the end on my butt end H2H, right? Hit to hurt. Um, and that was at that like that's all I could do because I couldn't be a skill guy at that age with those guys. So that's all I could do. And that's how I started working my way up. And then once, yeah, I got traded to the Sioux, and it was unbelievable because now I'm under Craig Hartsburg and Denny Lambert as a coaching staff. And then I was the year after Carter, Jeff Carter.
Yeah.
Tyler Kennedy was there. He went on to win a Stanley Cup with Pittsburgh. He was the captain the first year and then went to the American League the next year. And that, the C was handed to me. But I think at that time, Wally is I played that way and I brought that to the game every day, to the rink every day. But I was able to talk to the 16-year-olds, right, that just came in because I had been there and I'd done it. Um,
What they're doing.
and the shift in the OHL at my time was right in the middle when all the hazing stuff was happening,
Mm.
right? So it was like a fine line. You couldn't be putting guys in kangaroo court and Gatorade coolers
Well,
anymore.
I never would want to do that to someone. Like when
Yeah,
they were thinking of talking about doing that, I'm like, what kind of hockey am I into here? When I got to junior B, I heard some stories and they're like, we're gonna do this to you. And I'm like, uh, that makes me very uncomfortable as a person. And I don't want to do that, but I do want
yeah,
to play for this team. And like, if you're gonna be a team in hockey, that's the last thing you need is people not to
right.
trust each other and all that. Like,
Yeah. And that's what I think. I think it created, so for my year anyways, created like a rookies versus veterans sort
yes,
of thing right off the
100%.
get-go. And then it was okay at the end, but there was some friction there where when I was older, I didn't want that to be the case, right? And just if you're gonna perform, you need everybody,
You
right?
do. If you're gonna win, you need everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that
100%.
so then that's sort of how that became my makeup.
Um, it's interesting that you became like an Auslander or import in Landshut as a guy that would run around hitting guys, mucking it right up. Um, because usually in Europe, they want guys that score,
Yeah.
and I felt the pressure. I was an overweight 5'8" guy, and if I didn't score, you know, pressure's on. But if you can bring other intangibles, it takes the pressure off scoring more.
Mhm. Yeah, so going to Europe, so I was very fortunate the years before I played with pretty special players, and I also fit into a system that really worked for me. So I can shoot, Wally. I'm not going to toe drag anybody. That
Okay.
club is not in my bag,
Okay.
but I can
You got to
shoot.
know what you got.
Yeah, and so early in my OHL career, I was nominated as second best shot in the Eastern Conference.
Mm,
But I played power play D, offside D. So it's the one timer. And but from that, I played power play because I was relentless in front of the net and I learned how to play it. So, some things because you're a smaller player, I just got more detail oriented, right? I knew that I had Mark Rancourt that's going to be running it off the half wall. I've got Cam Fergus who's got, he scored 57 in the queue before he came to school. He's got a one timer here. So I know I'm just going to be sometimes just lifting the D man stick, right? That's my only job. And then other times is I'm going to be off of a face off. If we lose the face off, well, good luck to their D man to try and get it because I'm going to get it back
right.
or or puck retrieval. That's going to be my thing to get it back to the boys, and then I'll get back in front and I'm tipping. So then you just work yourself into those positions, and now all of a sudden you're an offensive guy.
Mm.
And it's like, well, not naturally, I'm not, but you work yourself into those positions, and that's how I ended up doing it. And then I got to Landshut, the bigger ice. Well, and this is where I think Landshut started to
I
really learn.
saw your university stats. You were already an offensive guy.
Yeah, coming out. So I almost committed to university the year before my overage year in the OHL, which is where my numbers really went up, because I was a 15, 44, 46, 48 points year over year, right? So right in the 48 range, it's like, ah, and then I ended up playing with Dustin Jeffrey and Yuri Talusti, who went to play with the Leafs my last year in the Sioux. And the numbers went up. And that's where I started to really get into playing like that. And
Right.
was at that point then in my OHL
When you play
career,
like when you're a third liner, you play like a third liner, and then when you get your opportunity to be a first liner, you start doing it.
figure out how to be in there and how to make other people better around you by doing the things that maybe they don't do as well.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and if that's standing for the net, you stand for the net.
Right. Um, so that sort of by the end of my OHL career, now I worked myself into that power play spot. And then that carried on into school. And then it just kept going. Right. And
Right.
and then you get into Europe and you are that import. You're supposed to score.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
Um, and I did okay. I was about a point a game there for a while. But I also there was a learning to my game. Like I got kicked out of a lot of the first 10 games I played, not a lot of them, but I got kicked out of multiple because I just ran guys over.
Well, and there were penalties in Germany for hitting too hard.
Yeah.
Every time somebody would get hit too hard, even if it was clean, it
Yeah.
was a penalty for something.
So that was me. I was getting kicked out for it. So then I'm going, okay, well, I can't play like that anymore. And it's also, you're skating an extra 5 feet to the wall, making the hit, and then an extra 5 feet back. So it's like, okay, well, I can't sustain this if I'm going to play this much.
Yeah.
So I've got to really, okay, so now it's angles. It's angles unless I'm really mad,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And at that point, I think that's where Landsuit was like, this guy, there's a little bit loose. Um, but
But he can do both.
he's there.
Oh
He's
yeah.
there.
No, but I mean, I don't know what we're jumping over, but I would say I don't want to jump over being named the captain of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. That's a big accomplishment. When you're getting drafted out of Huron Perth as a first year, there's a lot of dudes getting drafted. There's
Yeah.
a lot of dudes going to those teams. There's a lot of dudes going out there to muck it up. There's only one captain on every OHL team, and being named a captain of an OHL team must have been a big day.
It was. And I think it was even a little bit more special, Wally. So this is a little bit unique with my career is I played in the Sioux, which was where my cousin Joe played, right? And he was the captain there as well.
So Joe Thornton,
Yeah.
who is your first cousin?
Second,
Second cousin.
second cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
went to the Hall of Fame, but we don't want to
A
jump
couple days
over
ago.
it. We got a lot to talk about. Gosh darn it.
A couple days ago. And so that was in the Sioux. And then Scott. So Scott Thornton is my dad's brother. And Scott played 19 years as well. And
Research team got hot, drafted third overall to the NHL.
yeah, so puts me in a tough spot. I've got one drafted first overall. I've got another one drafted set or third overall. So I'm bound to go second, aren't I, Wally?
Yeah. Shoot.
Right? Those are some big shoes to fill.
Well, where'd the genes come with the size, eh? Like you're the little guy and they're all big.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, so
but
that was part of my hockey journey, right, as well. And I hate using that word, but
it's part of
it's
it,
just the
right?
name
Yeah.
is the name
Yeah.
that you get. So I was coming out of here on Perth. Well, you got drafted because of your name. Well, you know what? So be it. I'm going to make the best of it.
Yeah.
But there was always that sort of everyone knew, we'll just say.
Right. And so when we podcast before the podcast, when we chatted for like an hour the other day, um, I found it funny when you were talking about Joe is now with San Jose and talk about bringing teams together. I'm coaching under 13 boys. Last year, the first tournament, I let them shave my head, which turned into all of them shaving each other's heads. And then we also got into moo-offs. So a moo-off is when you get on all fours in front of each other and you moo at each other and you maintain eye contact. And if anybody laughs, they lose. And I would do my starting lineups over this. So I would get into the locker room and be like, so who's ready to play today? Get on all fours and we're doing a moo off. And I'd have centerman against centerman or winger against winger or the D pairs. And I'm like, who's ready to play today? And we do a moo off. Well, Joe goes to the NHL, takes out the stalls and the shitters, and they're shitting and pissing with no doors, eh? And I thought moo-offs and shaving our heads was pushing the envelope. He can push the envelope just like I can.
Well, yeah, I think in the podcast, Braun had said that Joe was just really concerned about like the team and how close they were, and that
Right?
they needed to bring him closer.
Well, I always kept the door open when I was shit with the boys.
I think that's the way. That's Joe. The thing with Joe is he's as old as he is, but he's still that 16-year-old kid at the arena. And
That
that's,
loves hockey.
he goes to the rink every day. I think he's got Macklin Celebrini living with him right now. Like it's just he stays young through the game. And I
I
don't
have
think
been
he'll
too with
ever,
coaching kids.
yeah, I don't think he'll ever let go of that. I think he's doing the development stuff with San Jose now. So working with the younger players,
And
and
he's still in the game and still enjoying it.
yeah, he's got something to do with the Spangler Cup as well through the Swiss team. So I think he's got things on the go. But yeah, he's a pretty simple guy. Yeah, it's
I've
Joe.
never heard a bad thing about him from anybody that I know that's played with him. They say he is exactly
It's
what
just
people say. He's just a beauty.
yeah,
And he's family for you. But anyways, back to your story. So you go to the Sioux, you become captain. I think
yeah,
that's where we were at.
yeah.
And then you did put up like 36 points and 36 goals and 76 points. So what are your pro options as a little guy? Because I know what it was like. I was a few years before you. Little guys weren't getting much of a taste of pro hockey back then. So what did
No,
you have?
I had a bucket load of CIS recruit letters and an AHL tryout. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So not nothing that was worth giving up the OHL scholarship package for.
Right, because if you do the OHL at that point and
Yeah,
then you go pro for like a year, you
yeah,
give everything up they were giving you.
that's right. That's right. So think of it as like just a bank account, right? And every year you played, you got a certain amount. And at my time, it was like I had a really good one that was like 7,000 a year.
Right.
So they put that away for me every year. So I had 35,000 in the bank. And then if I went went to pro and
It's gone.
post or whatever it is, yeah, you've got like 6 months. So you'd have to return partially through the season and able to in order to come back and still be eligible for it. So I just decided that I had guys from Belleville I knew. I knew that obviously I knew Hotham was going to St.
Because
Mary's.
he told you every time in the corner.
Yeah, and
That's such a Hotham thing to do,
right.
man.
But
It's crazy.
this Rancourt guy, I don't know, I just have a certain trust in him, and he's my best friend, one of my best friends to this day. But he just said, "Come here, you're gonna have fun." So I didn't even go out on a recruit trip. I was actually playing in a ball hockey national tournament in St. John, and then just continued on. So I went to the university. I met my coach. I had a full Fu Manchu and just mutton chop. I just looked like an absolute animal, a mess. And from then on, Halifax again, right? I was in St. Mary's in Halifax. What a city to go to school in. Um, just returned back. Because we won nationals there, we ended up getting inducted into the St. Mary's Hall of Fame because no other men's hockey team had won the nationals. Really cool game. Ended up playing Alberta in, the Golden Bears in the national finals. You saw them on TSN all the time win this thing as a kid. And
Yeah.
then here we are, and we beat them 3-2 in overtime, right? And win the
It was
tournament.
in overtime too.
Yeah, so we won that, and that was really, really cool. And that was my last year, right, of school. So I knew I wanted to play. So I ended
Because
up,
hockey was fun again, because winning's fun
well,
and scoring and winning and it makes it all like you're not done.
no, so I played, I knew I wanted to play pro. So I only went to school for 3 years. Um, but I got my 4 year degree in 3 years because I did an extra course each semester, and then I stayed every summer and did courses. So I ended up doing the 4 year program in 3 years. But in those 3 years at school, those were probably like the biggest learnings for me. Our coach was unbelievable. And playing with the guys, Rancourt and this group of guys that came in, my rookie class was unreal. So coming into a university, we had six recruits, and four of them were captains from major junior across the way. And one of the guys that wasn't was a hundred and something point in the queue and was coming in, and it was just like this super recruit class, and it just we rolled from day one, and it was us and UMB that went toe for toe. And it was just the greatest thing, and our coach was the perfect.
Would you be even playing against like Chris Colligan and Joey Haddad?
Yeah, yeah,
Those are
yeah,
my card boys.
right, right. So that same sort of group, right? And so it was good competition in the league too, Wally. But our coach was great. He's like, guy, this one of the first skates, he sat us down or got us on the ice and said, "Hey guys, why are you here?" And because he said you weren't good when you were younger, that's why you're here, right? And
Yeah,
then it was true, and it was true. So what are you here for? Is essentially the question he was asking. Like, what are you bad at, right? What are we fixing? What are we highlighting in your game? What are we doing? What are we here for?
right.
And then it like challenged you. Then we had, Rancourt was the guy, and he was someone who, man, he had multi-million-dollar hands, but like 2 cent feet, and he'll tell you that. But he was just so intelligent with the game that we ran a power play that was like over 50%, Waldo, for the full year. Like it was
Oh,
insane,
they
right? Marv Hotham brothers on the point. You got like, so it was just insane. Um, but those years of university were so incredible, and in that city was so cool. So those teed me up for then the because I'd leave with Mark Rancourt, and that's why I'm bringing him up so much, because Mark and I went together to Landshut.
Oh, he went there too.
Yeah, yeah, we went as a package.
Oh, you're a package deal.
Yeah.
Okay. I found it, yeah, I always found it interesting when you said he had the $1 million hands with the 2 cent feet or whatever, but there were those guys out there, and if they could find the league that worked for them,
Yeah.
man, they could be incredible. And you're like, I understand why you're not in the NHL because you don't have it all,
Mhm.
but man, can you make it work here? You know?
Well, I think if you're the type of so him, our coach at St. Mary's also sort of built our system around the way Mark dominated. So the power play
Because I
break.
know how good Andrew
Yeah,
Hoffman is. And when you're talking about another guy being the guy,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. It was though it was Mark, and then Hotham would be, honestly, Hotham, just because we didn't even play positions. It was like a five-man rotation, Wally. Really, there was
I,
no real static, right? Everything was motion, and we just read off each other. And Randy would typically have the puck and just feed it, or Marv would have it right in the slot, and he'd be looking at the goalie, almost like those little cat things on the car, right? He'd be like this, and then he'd just slip it back door, and I'd just be standing there with my stick like this, and it would just like stop him. Like
it's so fun playing with guys that like how good they are. And
yeah,
like there's guys you play with that will get the puck in the slot and you're standing back door tapping and
yeah,
they'll never see it ever.
no,
But then when you play with a guy that sees it and then throws it there, you're like, oh gosh, I like playing with you.
Yeah, we can be friends.
So then you win it all. Winning's fun. I'm sure you guys had fun winning
Yeah.
because it is every time.
So it was in Thunder Bay, though. That's the only thing I can say. So we won the
Mm,
Nationals in Thunder Bay, Ontario, and we went back to a bar called Scuttlebugs,
sounds like Thunder Bay.
right? And we
Uh,
had a flight the next morning, and like I feel bad for the regular folks who were on the flight. It was, not
everybody was struggling.
no one slept. The trophy
No,
was, yeah, the trophy had gone down the slide. It was destroyed.
it
It was
wasn't a personal flight. We're not in the
no,
NHL.
no, no,
No,
it's not.
no, it's no. We're
No.
all with you here. I've been on those flights.
Yeah,
Um, but so then after that,
yeah.
how do you and Rancourt get to Landshut? Because I know how I got to Landshut. I had done good in college, did fine in the East Coast. We team goes to the finals. I don't know what I'm doing the next year because I don't want to be with them anymore. I want something different. I sign in the coast. I'm on my way there. I'm going to the AHL training camp, and then I get turned around because of Brandon Dietrich,
Yeah.
who I sure hope is playing in this game in February. Because that's how I got to Landshut, Germany, and it brought back my love of hockey, meeting all those guys. So how did you get to Landshut, Germany?
So I got, funny enough, my Uncle Scott threw a email together with some guys that he had played or that he knew that played in Europe.
It's all about the
And
people you know in this
yeah,
game.
and the email, like the subject was, let's find the kid this, or let's find this kid a job in Europe. And then it started this email chain, and I forget the names on it, but guys wrote back and they listed, hopefully off of experience, right? Or probably off of experience, but like country by country about how guys had liked it. Like, Finland, drinking culture, dark, kind of depressing, and like laying it out for you. So, it's just opening my eyes to some, places, destinations, we'll call them. And then a guy wrote in and recommended an agent, and he's not a big hoopla guy. His name was Greg Flowers. And he had an in with Bernie Truchka. So
Hmm.
he had helped bring Ty over. So that was my connection to Ty too. And he brought Mark and I over. So we ended up at, the doorsteps of Gutenberg Vag, the arena there, and walked up to the office and met Bernie. And it was just through that agent. And he stuck with me through the, my career there, helping with the contracts. But yeah, he was just a small name guy, but he helped me.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. So, um,
I
let's
did
see
talk
here.
to, actually, Wally. I did talk to a guy out of the English League, Corey Nelson from Nottingham.
Yeah.
And I almost, it was going to be either Nottingham, and then Landshut came up, and I decided to go Landshut.
Well, Corey Nielsen is a
Or
dandy. I
Nielsen.
I met
Nielsen.
I met him at one of the games I went over for in the UK.
Okay.
And man, he had me belly laughing within minutes. But yeah, he's a beauty.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is neat getting back to these games because it it you get to meet so many guys that are like-minded. And well, when you join the real world, I found it growing up as a kid. There's not that many guys like you that are just totally into hockey. And then you get to high school, you get around your junior buddies, it gets more like that. Then you get to university, it gets more like that. And then you get to professional, and you're like, oh my God, everybody is like me. And I can't wait to go back to Landshut to be around a whole bunch of like-minded guys that played hockey all for the same reasons and are just great dudes.
I think that's the beauty of it. And
Yeah.
you know, everyone's gone on to do their own thing. It's whether and hey, some of these kids growing up in Landshut and going, you know, the ability for them to go to school and also play pro. Now, you know, they do kind of have to make a decision a little bit earlier because it's their pro team and maybe their career, but they end up doing really good things, right? So it's not completely like-minded, but we have the same passion, I think is the
Yeah.
thing. We have the same passion is maybe the word for it. And it's hockey, it's community.
Uh, when I saw Hammer and Geipe, who were beside each other all day, every day in Bietigheim and in Landshut, and then I find out they joined the real world, and then they were sitting side by side in the real world doing the same job, and I'm like, well, nobody needs to explain this to me. That's hockey. Somebody's helped them out and got them into the real world, and the two best buddies are sitting right beside each other, hockey dudes doing the real world. And I'm like, oh, that's so hockey because the people you meet can give you opportunities afterwards.
I'm jealous. I'm
I
jealous,
know, me
right?
too.
And I sort of know how that story worked out, right? Because my last year, Hammer was working. Hammer worked and played. So he worked at that job and then
And and
got
that
Cody in,
right?
right? Now
Yeah.
someone
And
helped
it's the
him.
same as a hockey team when
Yeah.
you it's like the Cardiff Devils. When you bring in seven awesome dudes, say Hotham, Joey Martin, whoever, and the coach is like, who do you know? Because they know they're awesome and they're going to tell you awesome dudes. Then all of a sudden, the snowball just starts rolling down the hill. You know?
So that's the way my our university coach scouted. He said and he'll tell you now. He said I didn't scout. I'd go on a couple trips to see players, but it's basically just an expense thing. So the university thinks I'm doing something. But you guys recruit for me. Just bring
Exactly.
me good players, good people.
The good people and the players you trust and the good players you trust that know who they know,
Yeah.
it's not that hard.
Well, Wally, then I mean, this can open up a whole, right? We can
Maybe
expand
we'll be agents.
on it. I mean, here we
Eh?
go. But where what are the transferable skills, right, to the real world? And that's it, right? You
Ah,
learn so many skills and through hockey. So whether it's just like accountability,
no,
right? Like
there's so much to it. It's like when we had planned we were going to do this last week, and I said Monday at 9,
yeah,
and you're like, okay. And then I didn't have to talk to you for days. And then I'm like, we still on for tonight? You're like, yep. And it was like two guys that had to be on time for hockey because you could never be late for hockey
no.
because you're going to get benched. You're going to sit a shift. You're going to sit a period. You're going to sit a game. You were never late. We are never late for anything we do. And that's how we live our lives now.
Imagine if you went late to work, if you had to do a Cabina Fest for everybody at work.
And Cabina Fest. So for the folks that don't know what a Cabina Fest is, they're as hockey as it gets. And with just fun fact for my Kincardine Canucks the last 2 years, we were back-to-back Ontario champions. On my 40th and 41st birthdays, I think they were. I can't keep track, but I brought back Cabina Fest to Canada to Kincardine, Ontario, and I got off the ice before practice ended the first year, and I whipped up Spätzle
Yeah,
with Schwiebel und Speck
yeah.
und Käse.
Zwiebel, spice, and
And
bacon. Yeah,
I had like a raclette and another frying pan hooked up in the locker room. And then all the boys came off for practice, and I had all the food set up and
yeah,
drinks. And I was like, I'm bringing back Cabina Fest to Canada because this is something people need to know about,
yeah.
you know?
So we'd have the entire team there pretty well for Cabina Fest in Landshut when Geipe and the boys were there, and it would
Oh,
be something unreal. You'd be eating, and we'd have a screen down. It'd be a soccer game on, the boys sitting around, like it was awesome. Beers flowing. That was the best part.
Oh, no doubt. You don't remember the games, you remember the Cabina Fest. So it is Cabina Fest is locker room party, and it would usually happen after a full bagger on a Tuesday. You'd get baggered, and then you'd get into the room, and it'd be two guys on the team's turn to host the Cabina Fest, and they would bring in the food and drinks for the team. And when I got to Landshut, the first time I saw a Cabina Fest, it was with the halbhanction, the half chicken,
Yeah,
and then they got out that sweet chili sauce, and
yeah.
everybody was just eating chicken like they were cavemen, dipping in the sweet chili.
Did you have
I,
Hundi? Was Hundi on the team?
oh God, yeah,
The
God,
food guy. The food
oh,
guy.
I love Hundi.
Yeah,
Oh man, the dog hammer,
yeah.
Houndhammer. God, he's one of my favorites. I haven't convinced him on the pod, but I have had a couple New Year's Eve calls where they call me when it's the New Year there and
Yeah,
not here.
yeah.
And when I get to see Houndhammer, it's a great day.
Oh, he's one of the best. He's one of the best. He right away he said, "Okay, you're a new import in Landsu. We gotta get you to the restaurants." And he took me. It was like every lunch we'd go to a new restaurant with Hundi, and it was unreal. It was our introduction to the city. It was fantastic.
He didn't do that for me, that punk.
Oh,
Well,
oh, he was great.
oh man, no, if he did other things for me, but we'll have to talk about that another time. But it was funny. He took care of my friends from home, we'll say. And my friends came over from Elmira, Ontario, and made a call. It was late we're going into the break, and it's late at night. And guess who shows up in a cab to take care of everybody? Houndhammer, you know? And when I watched him play, man, that year, and I've been playing the HL in the East Coast, and I get over to Landshut, Germany, and they're saying, "Oh, we don't have that big of a budget, we're castle, whatever."
Yeah,
And then I started playing, and I'm like, "So our third line center is Houndhammer?" I'm like, "This dude could play in a lot of places.
yeah,
Like he's defensively responsible, he does everything right, man."
yeah,
I was a big fan.
yeah. Yeah, so he ended up playing in the DEL. He played a couple years for Strawman.
Oh, he was good.
Yeah.
Like, so, and anybody that doesn't know, me and you have hung out in person before one time. I remember it. I went to, so I had never played against a team I had played for in my life. I had only played for those teams and moved up the ranks. I had never switched teams in the same league until I went from Landshut to Bietigheim. And the first time I played Landshut, my emotions were all out of whack because I had really enjoyed my time there. We'd gone on a heater, almost won it. I loved my teammates. I loved the guys. And then the next year, you're in different jerseys on a different team, and I had to play against my buddies. I didn't know how I felt about it, you know?
Yeah, I haven't well, I did experience that once too in junior. Was just traded from Belleville to the Sioux and then coming back. And at that time, it was even I think maybe it might have been even harder because
You're
like
just a kid.
well, it's your billets, right? Like you lived there. You lived with another family. And my so for me, my billets in Belleville are I'm super close with because I mean my
They
mom and
helped raise you.
well, my mom and dad went through a divorce at that time or a separation, right? So they were there and that was my home while I was away. So that they played a big part in my teenage years, we'll call it.
Right.
So going back, is from Bell or from the Sioux to then Belleville, and it's like, and it's weird because you want to win, right? So now I'm on the Sioux and I want to win. But at the same time, you get like a warm reception, and it's like a really weird, awkward game to play in. And then
It's
you're more so
very
excited just for the 15 minutes or the 30 minutes you get after the game to see everyone.
well, we got a lot of names to drop still, but like I remember it was, I think Schmatzy
Yeah.
went down to the third league for like a hot second,
Yeah, he did
and
pass
we
out.
and we played against him in an exhibition game,
Hmm.
and like the last thing I want to do is go in the corner and crush my buddy. I do it with like a buddy I grew up from home with, but like a guy I just won a championship with that's older than me. I got into the corner and I stuck my finger in his belly button as far as I could, and I started wiggling it around, and he's like, "Oh, Wally." I was like, "Ah."
It's, so we called him. He was Smash to us, Schmazel.
Okay, I like that.
I used to go into because he recommended a barber, and I would go into that barber and ask for the Schmazel.
Well,
And it was short on
that
the
hair was
side, just a little bit
fantastic.
back. Right, it was
Yeah.
the Peaky Blinders before Peaky Blinders was a thing.
Oh man, it was smooth. Yeah, great haircut.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's why he was our captain, beating him and we win a championship. It's the hair,
I could see that.
right? Yeah, no, it's funny playing against a team you've played for before, and then it's all your buddies, and you're like, I don't know how to handle this. Like, I get right gamed up for a lot of games, but I I think this is more of a fuck around.
Yeah.
Okay, more names we got to drop.
Okay.
Abshi. So
Wow.
my line mate when I was in Landshut was pretty much the whole time Abshi. We were with Mr. Brandon Dietrich most of the year. Then Trunchka told me I didn't shoot the puck enough because I like Brand too much. I understand that. You're right. Um, Gave us Alice Kratoshka for the playoff drive. Um, but Abshi had my back in every situation. Every time we go into a corner in front of the net, then we win the semifinals. Got to get to practice the next day. They told us to go out for a night, but we got to be at the rink at a certain time. He shows up at my place with a cab, a croissant, and a coffee. And I'm like, oh my God, what kind of line mate is this guy?
When you do it right.
What he does.
That's
Yeah.
what Amshi will tell you. And it never changed. And he's still the same thing. I get his golf Snapchats now and these things right now. Salt of the earth, he's one of the guys that accepted me into the land suit. We'll call it the family, right? So now, after a couple of years in, now I'm getting invited to family, like their Christmases and things like that, or just over to their house more often for the different celebrations throughout the year. And that's when, like, him and Nikki were a big part of my time there. And
Well, and feeling like home, right?
this is it. So I've been, this charity game we're going to do. Wally, I'm so excited for it
Oh,
because I've already done it, right? And I know
oh,
it. But I also know how hard it is to leave. So I'll tell you now, we stayed with the Abstriders last year or 2 years ago. And at the airport, like Nikki and I were crying.
I
It's just,
know.
there's that to it too. So
That's true.
it's tough to leave, but with this game, I think this game is so cool where, well, if we go there, put on a show, right? Like make a big deal of it, and we get the backing, like, from Tom and these guys that are actually doing the work behind it, and we give them a reason to continue that, right? Because it's great for Landsuit, it's great for that community on what they do with the money. So as long as it's a thing, right? They do it every 2 years. So this now is going to be my second year coming in. Like I would love to do it 2 years from now, and 2 year, and continue this thing where I know that every 2 years I'm going back to what I feel is like my second home.
I yeah, no, I get it.
And the other thing is I want to take my kids. They're not old enough yet, but I want to take them. And that's this weekend will be something that, because this is the other thing is like the kids grow up, and I had my kids when I was done playing, is that they don't know what I did. They think I work right now. Like the one just thinks I sit behind a computer and I work from home. So it's like, if you have that opportunity, which not too many people do, to go back and just see that for a weekend and open some eyes again, it's like it's a pretty cool thing.
Oh, it's more than a cool thing. And what what they're doing, bringing us back and putting something like this on. And it's not even just bringing us back, it's they're raising money for great causes around the community. And that, like, I see how much they're promoting it, what they're doing. Um, they're putting in the time and the effort to make it a great night. And I I couldn't appreciate it more. Um, because I've always wanted to go back. I've always wanted to go back to see Hammer, Geipe, Abshi, Guy or whoever, Whitman, like all the boys and Hundi. Like it's gonna. One guy put it to me once, Dirk Robel, my brother in Bietigheim, who win the championship. He has to retire because of injuries, and and I'm at his jersey retirement. We do all that, but I'm still playing, and then I leave. And he said to me once, he goes, "Well, imports always leave, and once they've left, they've left."
Yes. Yes.
And that's not what we want. That's I would love to go see everybody. It's too much money. It's too much to pay to fly over to Germany when a hockey team's not paying for you to go. I would
Yeah.
have never got to go to Germany in my life if it wasn't for a hockey team.
Yeah. Well, I think it's almost part of it comes with the territory. It comes with what we do, Wally, because I know, like for me anyways, a lot of my best friends, I live a flight away.
Yeah.
It's not
Why do you
a
think I started a podcast?
yeah, it's not a close thing. So that is part of it, but then you throw in the Europe, like the European thing too, and from their perspective and on all these imports coming over and guys that come over and then it's literally just a vacation for them,
For a
right?
year.
They don't really care
Yeah.
about it or whatever it is. And it's like it seems very transactional, I think, by the time you're into like your fifth pro year as a German, right? Because you've made five different friendships throughout. And if it's, you've got a wife involved or kids, then the kids are all like, it's you're an ingraining and then they leave, and then you ingrain and then they leave. Like it can be really tough on them. And I know that was, I think, part of the reason why me staying 6 years in Landshut, right, really allowed me to connect with the people I did. Now, your name, Wally, you like, I think with when Abshi loves, he loves really hard,
Yes.
right? And I think with like Gaipi and that connection too, and those guys, like it'll be the fond memories, right? But
Oh,
I think with those guys, once you're in with them, like you're in. And that
oh.
kind of like they joke, or I joke like Landshut Mafia, but it's like no, it's a club, man. It's like, yeah,
But it really was an actual club, and like I'm sure you remember this. The when I so I played in Landshut. We did great. We almost won. And then it came to the end of the year and it's over, and I get the offers from other teams, and I never got an offer from Landshut. They never said, "Will you stay for this?" They saw
right.
the offers and said, "I think you should go."
Yeah,
I, like you are, am loyal. I was willing to leave dollars on the table at like 23 years old because I liked playing there so much.
yeah.
And I went to Bietigheim, and then we win, and then I find my like new home or whatever, and I was there for a while. But it's so neat to get to go back to Landshut because of the year we had, the people I met, and then when I did win in Bietigheim,
Hmm.
half the team was from Landshut.
Yeah, yeah,
It was Schmatzy, Geipe,
huh?
Hammy, and like,
Yeah.
like it's
And
even.
they'd come home every Sunday night together, right? And they'd all drive back together. It's the
Oh
crew,
yeah.
man.
Oh
The
yeah.
crew.
And it's really neat, and I know they got a part to do with it. And when they do accept you in though, is that the thing under the stairs, man? I would play for Bietigheim.
Yeah,
We'd shake hands, and I'd be shaking hands with you like, "Hey, great game, way to muck it up." Didn't know you from nothing, but I knew they liked you. But then as soon as the game would end, me, Hammer, and Givey would get undressed as fast as possible, run around the stairs. It was the only game all year I'd be the first one out of the room.
yeah,
And I would run around to that clubhouse under the stairs
Yeah.
and it was like a family under there. And like it was me, Hammer, and Geipe coming from Bietigheim. It was Schmatzy, Abshi, the boys under there, whipping up sausages, beers. Like they were frying shit, they were boiling shit. It was crazy.
Yeah, well, what do they say? Beers are the best thing after games, right? Or after
Well, yeah.
after physical activity. No, but they so one of the
So the new dolled up arena does
yeah.
not have that anymore. It was the coolest thing in hockey. And people could tell me different. That little clubhouse under the stands was the coolest thing in hockey when they literally had like a clubhouse.
So we had some pretty cool management at that time. And I'm gonna say now things have maybe gotten a little stricter. Or maybe the younger kids just don't dabble in that, in the beers after game and stuff anymore. I don't really know. But it ended up that's where it started, Wally, right? And that was the tradition under like the room with all the jerseys hanging up with and then there was the picnic table set up on the one other side under the stairs. But then it turned, Wally, the one year our owner, so someone who had bought the team, Reiner Beck, stirred up something where he shouldn't have, and we didn't get a second league license, so we had to play in the third league.
Oh, is
So
that what happened there?
yeah. So he started stirring things up, saying that I want to start a league just in the south in the second and a league in the north, same as the third league, the Oberliga, because then you get more derby games. And
Right,
he was offering teams like money, saying, "Hey, I'll give you this much money to do it. I'll give you this much. We're going to make this." And he was like part owner of Bayern Munich, whatever the not FC Bayern, the older Munich club
right.
that played in the year lower or league lower. But anyway, so we ended up playing in the third league. So this was a big deal because we had five imports, and in the second league you have two.
Yeah.
So now you want pressure. So now myself and Pat Jarrett were left as the two imports making second league money in the third league. And so the other guys were, it was tough. PJ Fenton, left, like the other really good guys. So that was tough now. Now you only had two imports too. And in the third league, so it moved from under the locker room just to the laundry room now. It was just
Oh,
in
it
the laundry
moved.
room because after practice, then it was beers. It just became, it just,
It's third league now, right? You don't have, it's
right.
not as professional.
Right. I mean, it still was. And there was the crew that went to the laundry room for beers after every practice and game, whatever. But then the guys, right? The guys from the other teams would just end up coming right through the locker rooms, in through, right in. So it was just free access at that point. It was unbelievable. It's a great way.
So
Great year.
I kind of forget about how it was in Germany where you'd play a team and then guys that knew each other would just come right into each other's locker rooms and like be like, "Hey, what's up? How are you?"
Yeah. Yeah, you'd always have those visitors. What's another one? Like even going to games. You'd go to games on the bus. I don't know if this was the teams you played, but it was you'd stop halfway and the boys would pull out like cakes that they got from the bakery and it was
Cakes and coffee.
cakes and coffee, right? And
Kuchen and
pizza.
coffee.
Yeah, like what are
No, cafe and kuchen.
yeah,
No,
like what are we doing
I
here?
never forgot in my first year in Landshut was
Yeah,
we'd be already showing up late for the game. Like we're gonna be tight for time. They'd still pull over.
yeah.
Cafe Kuchen. We're
Yeah.
having coffee and cake. Don't care if we're late for the game. It
No,
don't matter.
or when I went over there, the bubbly water, right? The fizzy water. First time intermission, right? Crack it, take one. It's like nails down my throat right away. I'm
Why
like, what
would
are
you
you guys
want that during
doing?
a game?
Yeah,
That
why?
makes no sense.
Oh,
But yeah, like I don't want to skip over PJ
yeah,
Fenton because he was
sure.
my line mate in Bietigheim and just invited me to his back-to-back Stanley Cup championship party, and I could not make it. It was too far away. Like you said, our friends are flights away, not drives away, and I couldn't make it. But being invited back to a guy you played with in Germany's back-to-back Stanley Cup party, like
Wally,
Should have
hey,
been there, but
I got the phone call too.
I know it's
Wasn't
tough.
that, hey, wasn't that, yeah, life is busy. Same with me. I couldn't go.
Yeah.
Wasn't that cool of him?
Oh
And
man.
like the individual touch, right? To call us all, like he didn't have to do that. And like PJ's an unbelievable dude. And PJ, I give PJ, like I love PJ. I love him. In Landsuit, we
And
had,
that kid's a gamer.
yes, he is. He was incredible for us. And we had, because we brought in Brad Staubitz too, so we had one more import than we should have. And every one guy had to sit out every time. And I think there was a week where I was just on the booze and he came and said to me like, dude, you got to respect this. Like I was there every morning. I was there for, but I was out. I found a little Canadian bar, a Canadian that owned a bar there, and I was out all, that night or that week. And he just kind of set me right back in my place. And it was like, no, PJ, you're right. I got to respect this. Like someone's got to sit out and I got to, like, here we are, right? I got to be better. So
Oh,
I,
it's upsetting if you have to sit out a game. I
yeah. And he didn't put it in a bad way. He just, he took me aside almost to say like, hey, Cappy, like figure your shit out here. Right. And it wasn't like an extended thing, but I just appreciate PJ so much, man.
oh
And
yeah.
I'm in the fantasy football pool with him still to
Oh,
this day.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
No, what he was a beauty the whole time, and for a guy that, you know, he didn't skate that well, he wasn't that big, but man, he'd muck it up and he'd go to the hard areas and put the goals in every
So
time. He'd be in front of the net. He could be your half wall guy, he could be your goal line guy, he could stand for the net. He's like, just let me muck it up out here.
But I think he's another guy too that's like, maybe he wasn't the flashiest growing up. Like he's got great stick skills, right? But he's
Uh-huh.
not, you wouldn't necessarily say he's a shooter. Um, but he's like
He's got the intangibles.
knows where to play, right? And in those, he's really good at what he does to fit in with certain players. And then he's like, again, he's your net front guy, right? And he gets a tip on everything. He'll accept it and then he'll throw it back door to someone. Like he's so good at what he does. And I think he's maybe just as good as a player as he is a scout right now.
No, and like he's obviously doing something right if they're winning back-to-back
Yeah.
Stanley Cup champs. But what I haven't brought up yet, maybe I'm maybe it's because it hurts too much. My year in Landshut, we played Castle in the finals, best of five. They have a budget four times the size of us.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be around. We are. We go to game five of best of five and lose in overtime. And we brought up a couple of them, but man, I remember the room after. I remember going into overtime. I remember when we came in after, seeing grown men cry, and I'm like 22 years old, and I could see how much it hurt for everybody. Um, you guys won. You
Yeah.
guys did it like not that many years later. You won with a lot of the same guys I was with.
Yeah.
And man, is it different winning than losing, isn't it?
It is, but I think you still cry.
You
It's just,
cry either way.
it's a little bit different. Or
It's a
maybe
happy
it's me.
cry.
Maybe that's just me. But winning was incredible.
And that picture
Incredible.
of Geipe
Yeah.
dumping, that's iconic in my world. Like, that's a guy I won with in Bietigheim that I know he knows how to win. And
Yeah.
he was a fantastic player. Great one-timer off the offside.
So,
I could
uh,
find that scene.
like, I don't think I think that was the year I stayed.
That was
I
the
think,
funniest picture. You sent me that for your poster pics, and
yeah.
he's dumping a full thing, like the big boot of
Oh,
beer on the
yeah.
guy's head. Two of them. Right while the picture's getting taken, he just won the championship.
So,
That is so hockey.
Wally, the best part about it was it was in Rosenheim. It was our derby game, right? It was in Rosenheim and we won it. And like the pictures I've got from that are hilarious. The cigars in the room, like, and everyone's got the big beers, right? The big cup,
Yeah.
Geipe, like, yeah, the celebration. I think there was like 10 on the ice, and Geipe dumped six of them on guys. Like, it was wild.
He knew there was more where that came
Scoops
from.
wheeling around, the local TV stations on the ice, and guys are dumping this big, massive beer. Like, it was, and then, I'm pretty, yeah, I think that was the year that I stayed the summer. I didn't even go home. And that's when I really learned German, Wally, because I stayed. Uh,
So you stayed. Why'd you stay?
yeah. Um, well,
Because
okay,
I remember when I was in playoffs, man, and I was still living in my hometown and missing my buddies. It'd be playoff time, and I'd be thinking on the way to games, I'm like, okay, let's win this thing, and then I can get home and see my buddies.
I just had a lot of fun, man. I had a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
I started, so, I'll keep it brief, but I started dating a girl there, and her dad had ALS. So I was helping them through that with him at home. And when I was there, then it was okay, well, I got to figure out the language because I got to talk to grandparents or whatever, right? There's no other imports there. Sure, the guys I know that I could talk to English, English too, I could, but at that time I was like, I'm just going to really try and dial into the language.
Right.
And it was honestly, it was easier to learn too in the summer without all the English around.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's, yeah. So, but the best part of that is then it was also the Landshut wedding that summer. So the hawk site that they have every four
Oh,
years, that's the celebration. So, it was like we won this championship, and then it was the Dolt in Landshut, which is the celebration of either the harvest or the whatever they are, the farming seasons,
I've
right?
been to the duel. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's unreal. So the celebration was there for another week, and then it just dragged on. And then the Landshut wedding was there. So I had my birthday. I bought a keg and we took it out to the main street, because the main street, then they put like stadium seating up because they do the big parade through the main seat, and it's just everyone can have lunch or whatever, and you can drink outdoors there. So I brought a keg, threw it on it, and all the boys were there, and we had my birthday there on the stands, and it was a phenomenal summer in Landshut.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, those boys, like, when you think about the best teammates, best people you've played with, I really find it very strange because even coaching minor hockey around here,
Mhm.
there's some towns that get it, some towns that don't.
Yeah,
And they have a big enough town, but nobody knows how to minor hockey there. Landshut knows how to hockey. Like they really do.
yeah.
And the people they had on their team, there's so many we haven't brought up yet, but that they're putting a game like this on, and it's Tom and whoever else helping him.
Yeah.
Like it's a big
You,
deal for a community, and it's something they should be very proud of.
yeah. Do you want to know how it started? So the icebreakers, Landshut icebreakers.
Yeah.
So it's just a hobby team. And I think they started, like, I don't know if they started maybe a year or two before I was there, or just as I was coming in, but it was a legit hobby team, just a bunch of guys from Landshut that were learning to play. Like, these are 30-year-olds that have never played before, and they're learning to play. So these are established, like, they've got careers.
And they're putting on games like this.
So what they've done is, over the years, it's gotten bigger. So when they first started, they would just do they would do we'll call it a celebration game against Rosenheim folks that are doing the same sort of thing. And it'd just be like hobby team versus hobby team. And then they started to build it for the hobby teams. And now what they're doing is the hobby team game has gotten so big that now they've said, hey, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in some of the Landsuit pros to amplify the attention and the stadium, right? The fans, and bring more people in. So now it's a little bit, it's larger scale. So what they've done is taken it from just wanting to learn how to play the game and actually have someone to play against, to now year over year, this it's becoming a it's a real thing. It's a real charity game they're putting on now with like big name sponsors and people that are really backing it.
Oh man, I couldn't believe it. I was had to have been 6 to 8 months ago. Tom wrote to me
Yeah,
and said, like, "Did you be interested in coming to play a game?" And I'm like, "Well, dude, I got a lot going on. I got 2 kids. I'm like, I don't see it in my cards. Like, it's an
yeah.
expensive trip." I'm like, "But I would love to come back to Landshut if, you know." And then he's like, "Give me a hot second." Within 24 hours, he wrote to me and said, "Your flight and expenses are covered." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm coming." What? What?
Well, this is,
Pardon me?
I mean, it's they want the guys back, right? They want a good product on the ice, and like you'll see the
What?
lineup, right? And if you've been seen, if he sent you the lineup, it's like some really good old German guys, right? And then some younger blood coming in, some of ex imports, like guys even before me, right? Aki Tuominen is coming, Tupol's coming still, like so.
Camille Tupel Ice Hockey Gods coming?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm trying to get Billy True to come back still too.
And
Like
that's why I ever
Ty's
ended up in
coming, right?
Landshut
Yeah,
was Billy True got his passport.
yeah,
Um, so he was German, and then he went to Straubing, and then they needed a new import, which was me.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Billy came back. Billy's the career that he created for himself
in Germany
is
is,
like to captain a DEL team for as long as he did. And like, if you were to sit down with him and ask him his story or look him up on Elite Prospects, like going through like the North American, I think he called it like the Whippool or something, but
yeah,
like
WPHL, I think it's called.
something,
My research
yeah.
team's been hot over the years.
But and then he got in, I think it was like a fourth league team. And then they moved up to the third league and then second league and then Straubing, they went up to the DEL and then he was, worked himself into the captain. Like that's a story, man. And now
Oh
he's
yeah.
working full time. And now he's working for, I'm not even sure what organization, but he's doing junior development stuff too. And his kids are fully ingrained. They're, you know, that's home there now. So
Oh,
he's
and it is for
not
so
coming
many
back.
guys that you
Yeah.
play with that are still there. So, um, I don't know how much longer we have because I have so many more questions. God damn it. I'm gonna have to ask you in person. But okay,
Yeah.
played for Andreas Brockman in Landshut. That
Yeah.
was my coach when we had a run to the finals. You played for him? Did
Yeah.
he speak English to you?
Yeah.
He didn't speak English to
I
me.
could I could speak German though too. So
Oh, okay.
I typically by the end, if I was talking to a German, I would try and speak German.
Yeah, I was the same at the end too, but when I played for him, it was my f first time
Oh yeah.
flying over there, and then he said nothing to me in English other than "don't eat kebabs," and I was like, I like them,
Yeah.
so sorry.
Tough games. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so wow, so many things I still had to talk to you about, but we can talk, and I knew that when we hit it off on the phone the other day and podcast before the podcast,
Yeah.
but I can't wait. Like honestly. I think you're the same as me. You you play your career, you do the best you can, you get to where you can get to, and then it does come to an end. But having something like this, when when I was thinking about where to go and what to do after my first year pro, and Brandon Dietrich said to me, he goes, Landshut is a hockey town.
Yeah.
You should come here and play with me. You should come here. It's a hockey town. This is such a hockey town thing to be doing, to bring back a couple guys that used to play for you a decade ago or whatever and put on a game where I hope I can breathe and skate. I doubt I can, but for them to do this for us, it almost There's guys that make millions in the NHL. There's guys that do this and do that. This means more to me than that.
It's
But I could use $1 million.
I could too. I could.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's for me. The way I look at it is I'm not a planner, and if this can be something that every 2 years or in and around February, right? That is something that's just every 2 years. That to me is so cool. And well, like you said, right? Or like we talked about, we have such good friends, but they're all a flight away. And the
Yeah.
fortunate thing with Landsuit is there's so many of our good friends that
In that
live
town.
in and around that area. So there's nowhere else in the world I can go to where I fly into one place and it's the hometown of, like 10 of my really, really, really good buddies.
Yeah. No, I totally hear you. My issue is I'm a suitcase, not like you, because they want you back.
Yeah.
Is I have the same thing in Cardiff.
Yeah.
Haven't hit the same stride with Bietigheim because seems like it's a whole different team. I don't know anybody there anymore. It's all changed. Um, but I had the same thing there. But Cardiff invited me back a few times. But now Landsuit, like, man, that's where I got started. And I do too. Give me a hot second and we'll be right back. Game back on. We peed. Don't know what we were talking about other than how thankful we are to go back to Landsuit and the people that are there. And we do need to plan flights because rumor has it, small world, is you live right by my stomping grounds and your wife teaches at the high school I went to. What a small world.
I would say the rumors are true. Yeah, so we live in Waterloo now, and yeah, my wife's a teacher in Elmira.
That's
Um,
fucked up.
yeah,
That
that's
really is though.
small
Like
world,
that's where
man.
I'm from. Like I grew up and went to that high school and then went to Western Michigan and we're the two guys going back to Landshut, Germany, and now your wife's working at the high school I went to. It's just a small world when you start
Yeah,
thinking about it.
yeah, yeah. We'll have to because I haven't booked my flights either. But I'm gonna probably end up doing that sometime in December coming up here.
Right. We'll
So
have
we
to do
get
that,
done
but
that.
it's gonna happen and we're going there and
Oh
we're
yeah,
playing and we're gonna muck it up, you know?
we will. And I think if you can, we'll talk, Wally, about
My
something to
conditioning
do.
problems, are you gonna make me
Oh,
go to Bible Franz upstairs?
oh man,
And I
yeah,
don't get any off days. I only have to do cardio for an hour. Shoot.
yeah. Ouch.
I'm
Ouch.
not doing that this time.
No, you won't be asked to. You won't be asked to. No, it's just it's a lot of fun, man. Like they throw out you skate out from the helmet and they've got the fog machines and they've got the junior teams lining it. So you come out and the arena's packed and they've got all the introductions go on in between periods. They got figure skaters and things. So for the fans, it's like it's a full night of entertainment. And it's like a party in the city, right? So that's all they're asking is people come in, they have a good time, they see the game. The hockey itself isn't there. I think the last game was like 11-11, the final score, but it was a lot of fun. Um,
And that's what we're looking for.
yeah, and this is not even just for the guys coming back to see. We've talked a lot from our perspective, but even just the fans, right? Like they really respect the fact that after the game. I think I told you the other night, like the fans came on the ice for like an hour. Then you got to talk to them and take pictures and reconnect with them again. So that was fun. And then we'll probably end up going to a Landshut game, right? The second league team will go to a game and like you
When
know
I saw what they did for you, that would have been at a Landshut game, and they put you up on the jumbotron and said you came back. I understood the German. They said
yeah,
you came back all the way from Canada to be in Landshut, and this and
yeah,
that. and the whole crowd started chanting your name.
They did, and my wife was there, right? And I met her after hockey. So she's going like, who are you? Right? Like, who are you? What is this? And it was funny, right? For her to see that because, and then, she left and she said, yeah, you're like a small celebrity in a really small little part of the world.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Well, I think it's so neat, man. And I think, as they put it, the Landshut Mafia, like when I saw your picture beside mine on the poster, and then I hung out with you the one night at, I think it's called Salsalitos, if that's still a thing.
Consolitos. It was a little Mexican place. We used
Y-
to go after games and stuff for drinks.
Right up the hill on the left.
Yeah.
I must have been staying with somebody for the night because we had a road game. I didn't want to go home. I want to stay in Landshut. Um, but
If
we
Ty
hung.
was there, you probably would have stayed like 50 meters down the road and right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. I didn't know Ty till he played in
Oh,
Bietigheim
okay.
with me, which
Okay.
was after that.
Okay.
So I was think I'm staying to see Hammer, Abshi, Gaipi. No, they're Gaipi and Hammer were with me. So it would have been Abshi or Hundi or somebody. I don't know. But I always had a tie to those Landsuit fellas because they were, as a first year import over there, and the way they were a family, and like you see it saw it after a game. Their wives would be there, the dogs, the kids, and everybody would go upstairs to VIP room, and everybody was just together. And that's what I want in a hockey team. I don't want the up and down and different teams, and you're in it for yourself. Landsuit was in it for each other, and I think this game exemplifies that, if they're going to understand that in German. But I think it's pretty neat, and I can't wait, man. And it's been great getting to know you, and I know exactly why those guys think of you the way they do after talking with you. And it's gonna be a time.
Yeah, it was good to finally connect, Wally. Thank you for hunting me down.
You're
I
I'm
appreciate it.
relentless, they say.
You are, and I love what you're doing. I love it just connecting, right, with guys. It's something we all miss, and you're connecting those dots. We talk about being a flight away. Well, now with the impact of this sort of stuff, right, you can connect more often. I think you've done a really good job with that. I love seeing the list of different countries that listeners and things that are from. I think
Oh,
that's unbelievable too, right?
no, but like it's the people you know throughout
Yeah,
your hockey journey,
yeah,
right? And I had a different one, and I think everybody has a different hockey journey. You make
yeah,
different teams, you go different places. I had a strange one, but I won a lot of places, and it makes you brothers for life.
yeah,
And one thing I'll never get back is not winning in Landshut. We were a goal away, and it was so close, but the friendships and bonds you make when you know everybody will do whatever it takes to win, it changes your relationship. When you play on a team that finishes eighth, ninth, or 10th, and you're not that good, you don't win anything, and then the season's just over. You don't think hockey's that fun. You all every people start pointing fingers, and you're like, oh my God, this is not what I want out of hockey. I want people that love each other and will do whatever it takes for each other, and that's what Landsuit was.
yeah. I think so. I think you hit it on the head. It's a family. It's a little community within it, right? That locker room itself, and it's how do you say it? It's there wasn't come playoff time. It wasn't an individual thing. It was just the guy to the right and to the left of you, and you're going that inch, and they're gonna go that inch with you, and that's the way it was.
And it's the guys you're playing with that make it that way. You can't do that
Yeah.
on your own. You have to have other people buy into that. And when you
You
think
can do
about,
it on your own, Wally. You can do it on your own, but you're not going to win.
you're not going to win. No, I tried it in Bietigheim for a couple years. It was awful.
Yeah,
Terrible.
they do.
No, but like when you think about the list of guys, there's Abshi, Ty, Geipe, Hammer, Gunther Oswald, we didn't talk about,
Yeah, yeah,
Camille Tupel, Ice Hockey God,
yeah.
Hundi, Whitman. Like, there's
Max,
so many dandies. And Weltsy,
yeah, one of the
they're
best, the quietest guy. He's the
not gonna
quietest.
say
Oh, I
anything.
almost love him the most. Yeah,
He's gonna go up and down the wing, muck it up, do his
yeah.
best. Not gonna ask anybody for anything, just give
No,
her.
no, I think he used two sticks all year, like low maintenance guy. Yeah, great. Now there's, for me, there's the younger group. Then there's the two Brandel brothers. There's, Sebastian Fogel, who's now running their junior program there, and Max Brandel is, I think, the chef of the big team now, right? So those guys have moved up into management, and I played with them.
Right?
So and and the list goes on of those young guys too. So it always seems there, it's like whether they're young, they come up with Landshut and then they go off, right? And they try their DEL or try wherever they're going to go. And then they end up coming home again. And then they'll play out the rest of their years at home. So then you reconnect with them again. So it's kind of a little hockey factory they
Well,
have.
it is a hockey factory, and it's weird with like, I went to Denmark and I saw what Herning, Denmark was. It's a hockey factory. They
Yeah.
got dudes pumping over there like crazy. And there's weird little pockets in the world that can pump out hockey players, and it's having hockey guys around to teach them. And I hear Abshi's teaching the kids now, and I'm
Yes,
like,
it is.
if I wanted anybody to teach my kid how to hockey, it
Yeah,
is Peter Abstrader.
that's right. When you do it the right way, as he always said.
Yeah.
And this is the best thing, right? Is that there's opportunity, there's jobs available, right? To get in as ex players, to get in and give back to the junior teams, but to do it and to make a living off it, right? We're here, it's not really the case.
It's not a thing.
Um, but there it is. So I think that's really cool. And I think that's what's happened with Landshut, right? When I was there, it was EVL Steiger ran the Knockfoos or the DNL team, so their junior team there. And then, but Landshut was always really good at, hey, yeah, we have imports, but we want to promote our youth as well, right? So they'd always
Oh,
bring guys up and promote them up, and so I think that's part of it with them and the way they've worked their culture there.
well, it's a different vibe than minor hockey in Canada. Um, it's a whole different thing when
Yeah,
you have professional coaches that's their job is to coach your kid. Um, Around here, I've competed against a lot of coaches, teams. Um, they were not professionals. There were some interesting tactics on the other side. Um, that's all I'll say.
yeah,
But um, it's a different way of doing hockey is having a coach that's paid to play or coach is those parents have to pay for it. Somebody has to pay for it.
right.
In Canada, they're volunteers. I'm a volunteer. I do the best I can every time I go out there,
Yeah,
but I understand I am not going to get paid for it. But I want to be a part of a team and help them win and do the best I can.
yeah,
But making money doing this,
right.
I couldn't imagine. I mean,
Being able to spend 30 minutes on a practice plan? Hmm, that'd be
oh,
nice, right? Like
what, like,
those kind of things are like, but I think yeah, there's just,
well, there's so many parents running around trying just to get there.
yeah,
They're not thinking about like it doesn't take me long to come up with a practice plan. We've
yeah,
been
no, this is
through
what I
enough of them.
mean.
But I'm talking about the rest of them that
Yeah,
like you're trying to come up. So you're getting text message from parents that this kid's not coming, that kid's not coming, blah blah blah. And you're like, okay. And then so what am I doing for practice and how many players do I have and what are we
Mhm.
doing to keep everybody going?
Yeah,
And some of them it may not go that quick for, but like it's a different model over there. And then when Hockey Canada thinks they're doing it right, charging people tons of money to be volunteers and do all these courses and all these things, where these other countries that are coming up in the game are paying professionals to teach kids.
Yeah.
It's a strange way of looking at it. But anywho, all I got though is I can't wait for February. Like I really can't. I can't wait to see Hammer, Geipe. Those are my first two because they invited me to Schweinebrotten as an Auslander with the team in Bietigheim.
Don't forget anybody.
Well, I won't. Actually I will. But like there's so many dudes from Landshut that are hockey dudes. And like I don't mean hockey dudes, like they're the best teammates I ever had in hockey. And they cared and they were a family. And it wasn't about who scored the goals or who got the assists. It was about who won the game. And that's what I love when a team is like that. And that's what we were in Landshut. And I know that's what it was when you were in Landshut when you guys won the championship.
It was. Now I'll tell you, this game will be different because it's not about the win. It's more about
Oh, we're winning.
the smiles and
Hey,
whatnot.
hey,
But
we'll do whatever it takes. We're winning.
okay. No, it's a good weekend to go back and if you can turn it into a week with a little bit of travel involved too, it doesn't have to be far because like I said, once you're there,
Yo,
everything's so close. But no, it'll be a fun week and it'll be a really nice second meeting with you in person, Wally.
yes, exactly. And we're gonna muck it up. And this old timers team Germany bring the noise, right?
We might even go back to Sausalitos.
Well, that would be something if we went back to the
Oh,
same place years later, because
oh,
I couldn't wait. And thank you to Tom and everybody at the LA Icebreakers for making this happen. Because when you're a fat retired guy and you've been out of the game for 10 years, getting an opportunity like this is something you never forget, right?
no, no, it's like it's hard to you just got to experience, Wally. It'll be a good time. You'll enjoy
Oh,
it.
and like, man, things changed for me. I left Germany, went to Denmark, then I go to the UK, and then those are kind of memories you're left with, right? Is where
Yeah.
you ended instead of where it started. And Landshut was where it started, and I can't wait to go back and see everybody. It's going to be a hoot. And I know the Landshut Mafia has good taste in men, and that's why I hunted you down so hard.
Oh, well, thanks, man. I mean, this is the latest I've been up, and I'd say a couple years since my first kid was born, maybe.
Well,
Um,
then it is bedtime for
but
both of
here
us,
we
isn't
are.
it?
Yeah, yeah. Let's
I
hit the
know.
hay, Wally. It has been a time, man.
We'll be in Germany in no time. And
Couple.
this has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Thornton and Wally.